Great. Here's an original English script written as a single long paragraph, as you prefer, centered around the Kerriest women's MMA knockouts of 2024. This narrative combines real events with dramatic flair to paint a powerful picture of the year's most chilling moments in women's combat sports. In 2024, the landscape of women's MMA was transformed by a wave of terrifying knockouts that reminded the world just how ferocious and technically elite female fighters have become. From the octagon to regional cages around the globe, fans witnessed a series of jaw-dropping moments that silenced arenas, dropped jaws, and made even veteran commentators gasp. Early in the year, the LFA saw Kendra McIntyre land a violent head kick on Katerina Legoreta that sent shockwaves through the MMA community. The brutal strike flattened Legoreta against the cage, her body slumped in a way that made even seasoned fans wince, prompting medics to rush in instantly. Not long after, at KSW 97, Victoria Chizevska crafted one of the cleanest knockouts of the year, catching her opponent's leg mid-kick, stepping inside, and unleashing a perfectly timed head kick that turned the lights out on Ariane Costoneda. The audience sat in stunned silence for several seconds before erupting. Then came Paulina Wisniewska's rise in PFL Europe, where she finished Valentina in just 32 seconds with a knee so precise and explosive it crumbled her opponent like a sandcastle, earning her a title, a massive prize purse, and the reputation of a field finisher. Miesha, Shaymin's devastating third-round head kick over Siakam Foam during UFC Macau drew global attention, not only for the strike's raw violence, but for the fact that Foam had to be stretchered out of the cage, creating an eerie silence in the packed arena. Thankfully, Foam recovered, but Ming's place in highlight reels was sealed forever. But perhaps no moment in women's MMA matched the surreal, terrifying brilliance of Carol Foro at Jungle Fight 135. Dressed as the infamous Annabelle doll, Foro walked out with eerie silence before obliterating her opponent in just 90 seconds with a storm of strikes that made the entire audience recoil. Foro, already known for her flair, emerged as a genuine knockout artist, with 6 straight finishes, most within 3 minutes. The clash of horror-style theatrics with her ruthless efficiency turned her into one of the most talked-about fighters in the scene. These moments weren't just about violence, they were about evolution. They showed how far women's MMA had come in terms of athleticism, power, and fight IQ. Gone are the days when women were seen as technical but lacking KO power. The terrifying truth in 2024 was that many of these women could end a fight with a single strike, knees, head kicks, elbows, spinning fists, and they weren't just doing it at the top level. From developmental leagues to global promotions like UFC, PFL, Bellator, and KSW, women were delivering KOs that made highlight reels, broke social media, and etched themselves into MMA history. Whether it was a debutante making a statement or a champion defending her crown with a brutal finish, these knockouts served as reminders that women's MMA is no longer catching up, but setting the bar for brutality, elegance, and explosive unpredictability in combat sports. Would you like me to expand this into an even longer 9,000+ word script, in structured parts or continued paragraph style? Or maybe shape it into a YouTube documentary voiceover or podcast style narration? Sure. Here's an outline of the **** script about cocky fighters getting humiliated by knockouts***, focusing on dramatic moments when arrogance met their end in the cage. I will structure the narrative in a way that builds tension and showcases the turning points in each fight. Title: When cocky fighters get destroyed, the most humiliating KOs***. The world of MMA is filled with intense rivalries, fierce competition, and heart-stopping finishes, but one of the most thrilling narratives is when cocky fighters, those who talk the talk but can't walk the walk, are humbled in front of millions. Their arrogance, trash talk, and overconfidence often set them up for the most humiliating knockouts in MMA history. These are the stories of fighters who entered the cage with their heads high, only to leave in a different state, defeated, stunned, and utterly humiliated by the violence of the sport. One such story that comes to mind is that of Michael Bisping against Luke Rockhold at UFC 199. Bisping was known for his sharp tongue, trash-talking most of his opponents. His confrontation with Rockhold, the middleweight champion at the time, was laced with animosity and overconfidence from Bisping. Rockhold, the former champion, was the heavy favourite, but Bisping's cocky attitude in the lead-up to the fight led fans to believe he might be underestimating the challenge ahead. The fight came to a shocking and humbling end in the first round when Bisping, a heavy underdog, landed a left hook that knocked Rockhold out cold, taking his title and giving him one of the most iconic KOs in UFC history. Similarly, Ronda Rousey ***'s reign as the UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion was an era of dominance and trash talk. Her opponents often struggled with the pressure of her mental game and judo prowess, but when she faced Holly Holm at UFC 193, Rose's cocky approach was turned against her. Rousey entered the octagon brimming with confidence, dismissing Holm's striking ability in the build-up. However, Holm's precise footwork, combined with her experience and composure, led to one of the most brutal upsets in MMA history. In the second round, Holm landed a stunning head kick that knocked Rousey out cold, ending her unbeaten streak and delivering one of the most humbling moments in UFC history. The theme of cocky fighters being humbled extends beyond just title fights. Take ***Chris Cyborg ***.